Embrace the dark. Enhance the light. Embody the grace, the fire inside. The trees were older than stories. You could carve a house in their ribs and still hear them breathe. I wandered where even the snakes bowed low, followed her pulse, the aliveness of bark and stone. The magic murmured in every moving thing, threaded through the breath of crickets, the skin of rain, the invitation of red earth, pooling in puddles, ochre rivulets flirting all the way to the riverbed. Soft notes, nature's mystery song, woven into the vapor that clung to the ferns, coiled in the roots where the blind things sung. It spoke in the reverent hush between wing beats, in the patient blooming of damp moss, in the sigh of sunset, in the silence where a sliver of light touched a fallen log and gave spotlight to a galaxy of airborne pollen only seen from a certain angle. I followed the trail, the sounds, the cues, the way a heartbeat follows the drum of its own blood. I belonged to the breathing dark, to the rising dawn, and it to me. It touched me before I had fear, but like all perfect moments, it had to end, I guess. Something shifted. A glimpse into the wounds of those who called themselves caretakers. Desires unchecked, anger unresolved, an inheritance of misplaced intensity. It seeped in, tentatively toxic. First in the corners of days, where the light frayed and peeled, sloughing off like the skin of a molting beast. The creek no longer mirrored the sky. Its sparkle now muddled, a watery grey to yesterday's innocence. The ground grew teeth where I slept, gnawing at what was left of childhood grace. It seemed as if the weather itself was protesting. The wind tore through, stole hours in its vengeance. Trees at odd angles leaned back, creaking in threat. The crows circled, casting their own spells in names I'd yet to earn. One night, waking from a nightmare's claw, I saw a white horse, spirit-born, galloping across my window. And in the mirror the edges began to shimmer darkly, like a heat mirage rising from summertime asphalt. In the blur and the slow burning terror, it showed me things the others may never see. The world split open and deftly injected its poison. Smiles came like switchblades, faces overlaid. Prayers hung heavy like shackles on the imprisoned. I gagged at the falsehoods, barely able to stand among them. Saw it, smelled it, sensed the deathly rot behind words packaged as wholesome. As I walked amongst betrayal, I saw those in authority being followed blindly, believing the lies bold-faced sent into cameras unfiltered. unflinching, saw lovers converse with forked tongues, competitive, cords that wound around necks and cut off possibilities. Subtext, subterfuge, conditioning, a mad loop. Spirits clung to my skin like wet clothes. Rooms screamed without mouths. The dead howled for someone to see them, and I had no door to close. I learned the art of hiding in poems, painting my rage into verses no one would read. I spat curses into mirrors as if it would empower me. The words I couldn't say, trapped in the looking glass. Desperate, I called what was waiting in the dark. The shadows answered. Like enchanted steel, plunged into rock. It cracked open my chest, splintered the soft armor of naivety, filled me with the bitter venom of one too young to be done so wrong. I wore demons like second skins, inheritance from the abusers of the realm. I smiled their smiles. I embodied their hunger. I tore the sky trying to claw them out. They tore at me, trying to push me out. I crawled to an